Hey there all, so let's take a look at this level. So we need to order all of these soldiers in order from least health to most health. And then we need to send them to stand at these marks. So let's start. It wants us to fill out this function down here, where we find the troop with the least amount of health amongst whatever units that we input into this function. And just by looking at the rest of the code a bit, it's probably safe to assume that these units will just be the unplaced soldiers. So anyways, we need to make this function find the unit with the least amount of health. Let's make a variable to just keep track of our current lowest health, and we're just going to return this at the end of the function. So lowest unit is equal to none, because it's none so far. And next, let's make a variable to keep track of the health of this lowest unit. So let's call it lowest unit health. We set this variable to some random arbitrarily high number so that every single troop that we are looking at has a lower health than this. And then we just make a for loop so that we can loop through each and every single soldier in units. And this units comes from up here. So if the current unit that we're looking at's health is lower than our lowest health, that must mean that this unit is our lowest unit because it has the lowest health so far. So let's just update our variables to account for this. So the lowest unit is equal to this unit, and the lowest unit health is equal to this unit's health. So essentially, it's just going to loop through every single unit, find out if the unit's health is lower than the current lowest health, and if so, we're going to make sure that this is our lowest unit and this is our lowest unit's health. Great, so let's just be sure to return this lowest unit variable. Okay, let's take a look down here. This recruits variable stores every single unplaced soldier. This mark index variable, we aren't quite sure what it's used for yet, but presumably it will be used down here somewhere in this while loop to help keep track. Okay, so let's take a look at what we need to do here. So we need to find the recruit with the lowest amount of health, which is just the function that we just defined. So lowest recruit is equal to min health unit. And for the units part that we're looking at, we would just use the unplaced soldiers, so recruits. Next, we need to command him to move to the mark, which is one of these x's right here, using the mark pause function in the mark index variable. So let's just take a look at what the mark pause function is. Depending on whatever this value of I is, it just returns some random x and y coordinates, which are these marks right here. So let's just command him to move to the mark. So first we need to check if there is a lowest recruit. So if lowest recruit, command him to move to the mark. So hero.command lowest recruit move mark pause mark index. Great, so now we just need to keep changing our mark index variable just so that we don't go to the same x position every single time. So mark index equals 1, and then we need to update the list of soldiers who should be sorted. So we do this so that we don't recruit the same recruit every single time. So we do recruits.remove lowest recruits. So every time we look at a unit, we command them to move, we update our mark index variable, and then we remove the lowest recruit from the list so that we look at a different lowest recruit. Now let's just run it to see what it does. It says it's a success up here and all of the recruits are moving to their proper positions. And that is a successful level.